to solve for a real world scenario that we have. So this is the partial history framework inside Tractor Supply. This is the design screen that one of the designers created concerning the return workflow. And as you can see here, everything is using the design system connected to the library and to the specific components. Right now, I'm running a local version to be able to demo everything, so I'm not connected to anything to Tractor Supply, anything like that. The best workflow scenario would be for us to have an 100% completed design system, connect the NCP or storybook, connect this Figma NCP to each other, have them talk, and have the model create something that is deterministic and not probabilistic, so we get the intended results. Because if you ask the model to create this page, it will just do this in a static way without using our design language or anything like that. So I created a plan to break this and step by step to have the system help us create this. So I put this in plan mode. This is the prompt that I created. As you can see, the Figma NCP is running and working correctly. So let's create a plan while I explain and talk through what is happening here. So since we don't have a fully completed design system or anything like that, and we want to test the capability of the AI, I told it, hey, I want you to first create a plan that is step by step, don't code anything. I want you to create the return screen um, for this workflow in the e-commerce space. I want you to create it in an atomic way. Don't just create a page. Give me the components, give me the tokens, and then as soon as you have all that, then produce the page that is a one-to-match Figma match. So right now it's thinking, creating the plan. So right now the AI gets stuck and you need a little bit of help to be able to work directly with everything. Okay, so he created the plan and then it's briefing me. So let's read it through. It's gonna do the tokens. The tokens is gonna create the atoms. From the atoms, then it's gonna combine to create the workflow. It's gonna try to create pixel perfection, activate the freezer. I have a few questions. So for the technology stack, so number one for the technology stack, use the React framework, and then also combine a storybook so we can test individually at the atomic level and also at the page patterns level. Then for CS styling approach, you can use template, but make sure that you follow the integrity of the colors typography is provided for Figma. Don't use the default template configuration. Make sure that it matches the visual design language that you'll be extracting from Figma. It needs to be 100% pixel perfect match to each other. Just do it in this return TSC folder. This is the project folder for everything. Just make sure that you do the visual regression for everything. You choose the best one that is compatible with your model and will give us that 100% parity with the design on Figma and the code you develop. No, we're not going to be integrating everything. Let's correct that. This here. The last question is design system. Are you building this standalone project? You would like to integrate into the design system? This is a project folder for everything. No integration with existing code base. Okay, so I answered the clarifying questions that it has. Let's see how it's gonna work. So now it's thinking through the answers I provided to build the plan. It's thinking and working. Let's run it again. So this is what it's doing. Okay, so we want to do this as suggested. We're going to do this plan in a new context window, so we're going to clear that. But before I do this, I want to create a backup. So create and save the version of ND file for this plan in the folder so we can have it as a backup, and open it for me to see it. So I just want to have the plan safe in a system so I could have it and retrieve it if something breaks. So that's part of the tricks that you learn by using AI. Always have a backup, because the system will get confused, or it will crash and stuff like that. So you don't want it to lose your information and then having to start from scratch. So I understand that I want a plan copy. Okay, so now if I can return or manually return. Okay, so it wants to get out of planning mode. Yeah, exit planning mode and create a backup file. So because in planning, this authorization, right, doesn't let you write anything. So that's what it's trying to do. Now it's thinking. Let's see if it does it automatically, or we can we have to do it in here manually, changing that system. Okay, so I want to make sure that the file is here. See, implementation markdown. I have it here. So this is everything that it needs to happen. Let me see if it has the 100% match integrity with Figma. Okay, so capture the Figma to make sure that it passes. Okay, so make sure this looks good to me. So now I have an AI plan, that everything like that. We're gonna go here, and then we're gonna start in a fresh new session, and then let's do this with the best model possible, and let's see if this takes less than $30. So we're gonna do here, we're gonna cut and execute, and then let's go back here one more, drop it here, code, yep, none, let's see, and then start a new session with content window. Okay, let's start a new session with the full content window. You're gonna be in code mode. You're gonna be using the close Opus 4.7 model, and reference the plans that we already created in the ND file, and do not report completion until you have 100% certainty that the screen created for the return flow is an 100% pixel perfect match with Figma. So I like to do that so I don't have to check it multiple times. And let's see what the system is gonna do. Okay, see how it went to 1,000,000 tokens. Now it started billing me. It's using the best model possible. Let's see how much this is gonna cost. Okay, now it's thinking. Now it's looking at the implementation plan. It's kind of like looking for dependencies. Okay, so it completed the first phase. Now see, it doesn't have a design system, so it's going to create one for himself. But I'm telling them, hey, don't use that configuration. Use the values and designs that we have from Figma. Here is when we may not have a one-to-one parity because it's trying to do two things at the same time. It's trying to build the design system that's going to create the page and create the page, and then it's kind of like a chicken and egg progress. Hey, where do I get my styles? Or what is the final design that I gonna? Oh, I need to look at the final design to get those values. But without those values, I cannot create the final design. So it's giving it his best effort. That's why we're using the most expensive model possible to see how it runs. And now I requested a storybook to make sure that everything matches. And then we could granularly, for the debugging purposes, oh, this is the component that has the problem, so I could solve the component and then the page will fix itself. Okay, it's running in the back. Right now it's kind of like installing dependencies to be able to do the work. Now it needs an icon system. I should have tell it to use material icons, but that's a lesson learned there. Let's see what it's doing. By opening this, we can take a look at what's going on. Guess you will have to scroll it down. Okay. Okay, so these are all the different designs. I can tell by the this here, typography, colors. Now it's gonna create the components of molecules like the forms, the buttons, all that stuff. And right now we are almost at the $4 cost. Since it has to do dual responsibility, I don't think we're gonna get here uh, an 100% match in the first round, but let's see how close it gets. We could be pleasantly surprised since we're using the most expensive model. It's kind of like breaking it into tasks, right? Headers, headings, zones, filters, returns, folders. So he's doing his best. It's already kind of like at the $5 mark. And then time-wise, we are around, can we see it here? We don't see the time here yet, but I think we are less 10 minutes into the process, $5 of cost, but we can obviously tell it has completed a lot of work, so this will be days and days, if not multiple sprints of a development time to be able to do that. And then let's take a look at the to-do. It's still in the first to-do out of the 8. So let's see. And we already $5 out. So $5 and one step. So 5 times 8, this will cost around $40. Let's see if we have enough credit to finish. And then in the context windows, we are at 200 out of 1 million. That's why we cannot fit everything. So if we go here in Figma and you see all possible workflows and stuff like that, see how we have this will have to be prompt by prompt. If we give it everything, the system will get confused and it won't do it correctly because it's trying to boil the ocean. So kind of like the way we need to break it by steps, see how far we are, and then once we're there, we see how it's gonna work. So let's close that, come back here. Okay, so identify a quantity selector. It has a result dropdown, input. So it's looking for that information. It's reading it directly from Figma. Okay, the problem in the quantity selector that doesn't have it, but identify it, so it's correcting it. Okay, it's found an error, so now it's doing it. Okay, but we're still in the first to do. We still need 7 more. Okay, it's doing some testing. That's what Playwright does. Okay, now it's comparing it side by side. Believing that it did it. Okay, so it has from 1 jump to 6. That's really interesting. And then it's now gonna complete the storybook and the regression for 100% match. Okay, perfect. $7, not bad. Then let's take a look at the folder files, see how much progress there. Okay, so you can see here we have all this here integrated. Then let's look at the source. This is with the page, that's the return page that we want, right? And these are all the components, atoms that is gonna need to build that, molecules that is gonna need to build that, organisms that are gonna need to build that. Looking pretty good. Let's go back to Kilo. It's writing the stories so we can see them. Okay, now it's gonna do that one-to-one check. $9 of code so far. Okay, it's doing that parity check. Okay, so I noticed something with the breakpoints and viewports, so it's trying to correct that. So as you see here, the system provided all the visuals, and then this is connected to variables, and then tablet and mobile views. Let's see if the system does that. We didn't tell it to do it, but let's see if it does it. Okay, identify something with the logo. Now I went back to Figma to get those values correct. See? Okay, now it's going section by section in the page to check everything. Okay. It did everything there and corrected it, right? Now, so now it wants to do that. Okay. Okay, so it's doing a parity check section by section. That's really good. It's not trying to bold the option. It's saying, okay, these are what you did and this is what I did. Let's resolve for the differences. it will be interesting if it resolves mobile responsiveness from the get-go. We didn't get that instruction in the prompt, but let's see if the system is good enough to identify the differences. I don't like that message. Let me use an install line. See, so uh, the AI will do and try to comply with all your requests, but it won't do it in a proper development standards. It will just do it to get it done. Okay, it's looking. It's interesting that there's a combination between screenshots, see the safe PNGs, and then also looking at the Figma NCPs to get their real values. Okay, so I just want to do 1 1 for the dimensions. Kind of modifying the image to get parity. It's continuing to evaluate. So right now the model has a page and everything as we see before, right? And if I haven't given that instruction, hey, until you know 100% match, don't report completion, all those checks will not happen because the system will say, oh, I created everything, so I'm done. But it's not just create everything, it's create everything to the specification. So that's what it's trying to do following that instruction that we gave it. Okay, now it gets stuck. This is gonna be interesting. It's interesting. It's great that this happens, so we know AI is no silver bullet, a magic pill that will get everything done in our uh, systems. So just gonna get stuck and it won't help. So let's give it a stop to help it out. So it's gonna stop. Okay. So now continue where you left off. So let's see if that helps. The contents is too large. So stop. So it looks like a content window, even though it's a 1 million and it's up and down. We're already at $13. How can we help this? How can we help this? Okay, so evaluate what parts of the to-do you have completed and what they are pending, and complete the rest. So let's see if we take it out of that loop to help her out. So close this here, give it a new command. Okay. Just giving the inventory there. Okay, so it's reading everything. Kind of evaluating everything that it did. Okay, so this is good to get out of the loop. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so okay, continue and finish the project. It got stuck again. Let's see. Stop. Okay, I have another idea. Take a look at the implementation file and add your to-do plan and update completions and pending status in the implementation plan MD file. Okay, so it's stuck there. Okay. I need to get it in a new place. Let's do new task. I have it here, the one there. So let's see if I can correct it here. Okay, we jump into the free one. I guess that's okay. Okay. Rotating it. See how we change there. Okay, it's updating everything. That's one of the reasons that you see I had that create a backup file. Otherwise, it would have got stuck and everything like that, and we would have lost the work. But that's not what happened here. because we had a strategy going in. Okay. And this is kind of like what they're calling the PRD. So we created kind of a PRD of the page, or the AI did it for us based in the prompt that we gave it, and then created this situation right here. So it's telling me this. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to Opus 47, and then gonna tell take a stock of the status of this project and complete it. Let's see. Okay, so we got stuck out of that loop. Now we were at $12. Now we jump to $1 more. So whatever we got there here plus 13, that will be the total cost. Let's see where we stand. Okay, now we're going back to that place that we got stuck with the visual parity. Because see, if we do this here, the system will have stopped. I created everything and done, but no, I want you to create everything the way I specify it. And don't report completion until then. So that's what it's doing. And then we don't know how close we're gonna be because we're creating everything from scratch locally. We don't have a design system we can leverage, so we can segregate the constraints and divide the efforts of this project. We're trying to one-shot everything. The system that is gonna build the page, and then have the system also build the page at the same time. Okay, so you notice a difference, so it wants to correct it before reporting completion. So 13 plus 4 now 17. Okay, now it's connecting to the Figma NCP to connect the values. One to one to check. Identify the problems, trying to fix it. It's kind of like telling you with the headers and the footers and stuff like that. That's something that it would be already coded. It will just be importing it, and it wouldn't get stuck in this loop trying to correct it because it will be already properly developed in another place. And in a design system logic, we will just import it and complete it without having to rewrite it. So $5 for 13. Now we are around $18. Okay, since that is closer now. Okay, it's trying kind of like to adjust the criteria to make it pass. Interesting there. See how it wants to get the thing approved and it changed the assessment criteria on the fly. But we're asking too much about the model. We're asking it to build all the components, have parity, and then build the page. So it's kind of to be expected. When you try to do everything in one shot instead of breaking it piece by piece and then having a source design system to connect. Okay, so almost done. Updating the plan. Okay, let's see if something happened here. Let's see. Okay, so here. Kind of interesting the edits that it's doing. Changing that thresholds to get a pass. Okay, so it kind of like did this here. See how it changed the thresholds to get a pass. Really interesting. Okay, now it's reporting back to me. Review. Okay, so I did that. Really interesting. Now for the moment of truth, let me change this to the free version because now what we're gonna do is just look at it. Okay, so build and run the ends, let me refresh that. Give me a second. Let me get my tools right. Run and build a storybook so we can see what you build. Also run and build the return page so we can see it and evaluate it. Open the browser and have everything ready for me to look at it. Don't report until you have completion, until you have full verification. See, let's see. So basically it did everything. It's in the folders that we have here, right? But I actually want to be able to see it. So I could open the terminal. Probably it's going to tell me to open the terminal myself and run the commands that I need to run to see it. So let's see. So 13 plus 9, so $21 to create this page. And then this is a full PRD right here. And then how many lines of codes and files do we have here? A lot. So an hour of work for $21. Let's see what is the quality that it's going to produce. Okay, so let's see. I could also do it directly from here. So let me get it ready. Not gonna let me copy and paste. Give me a second. Let's give KiloCode the opportunity to finish it. I think it may have got stuck. Let's see. It probably got stuck. It's not doing anything. Yeah, so maybe the server issue or something like that. Let's try it here. Yeah. Stop. It's not letting me click or do anything. Close there. And then stop it. Let's stop it right now. Let's see how can we do that. Stop. Someone close. If we give it a new task, yeah, it's KiloCode that got stuck. So this is interesting. So this is a good place. So we're gonna quit and then we had the backup of the plan, so we are good to go there. Let me close this here, implementation plan, so we have our backup ready to go there. It's safe. Then here is getting stuck, so I'm gonna quit and then run it from here. So quit. Here is our file. We start the empty, now we have all of that. Then we're gonna run this. And then we have it here. And then let's give it the same command. Let's see if you remember the history. Show here. This was 4 minutes ago. Let's see, it's gonna open everything. Earlier messages. It may be too much information for it to process. So what it does that, I can come here and then tell it the same thing. Hey, build and roll the storybook. Let's get my thought first. Okay, let's do this. So run and build the storybook for this folder. Also run and build the return page so we can see it directly in the browser. Do not report completion until you have verification for us to be able to see all the bills. Actually, I did that in planning mode, so I need to cut that there. Let's go to Flash. Let's go Flash here. This is something simple that we want to do, and then run it there. Nope, that's not it. Copy it here. Bam. Okay. So interesting. That doesn't look like something we created, but that's what we want to test. We want to test if how close are the AI models for creating what we want and how much it costs. Oh, here's the page. The page looks interesting. Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay, it's very fine. Perfect. Here we go, that's the sound. So let's see, we got the return page in this local host, we have the storybook in this local host, and an hour of prompting. Let's see how much it created for a $21 cost. So let's start with the storybook. Then in storybook, it has a bash. That's interesting. Then these are the tabs, the filter, the images, quantity selector, damage, returns with the tabs. See, we asked the model to do a lot of work at the same time. That's what I said we needed a connection with the design system, because in the design system, it won't have to create this from scratch. It will just ingest it and start building the page. So this is what we have, and now let's take a look at the page. Okay, so this one is that one, and then here is this one, and then here is the page, and then let's put them side by side. So side by side, we have it here. Interesting, see, it didn't take care of the responsive design. We didn't add it into the prompt, and then it is not close enough for us to be able to do that. Okay, so we go here. And then let's compare it to the Figma. And then this, zoom in a little bit. So you got the words right in the hotbar, then kind of like the framework without having the icons available and everything like that, because it's not connected to the system, but the information is there, including the search bar. And then let's see the add to cart. And the add to cart is there with a different type of badge, see? Then we had the purchase tab. It did the entire background. Then it has the buttons, drop downs here for the different status that are not working here. It should be disabled. Then it didn't create the timelines. It just created the information here. Ignore this part. We have the order details of the return. That's close to it. This plain text is close to it. Kind of like the search is close to it. Quantity selector and the drop down. So oh, look at it's here. It's pinned to the corner instead of being in the right position. So it was there. And then the cancel continue button and stuff like that. So let's do a quick interaction. I'm not gonna fix it. I'm just gonna add functionality. So I'm gonna tell the system. So this is what 1 hour of prompting and $20 of $21 from Opus 4.7 gave us. And because we tried to bold the option, we made and do all the components, and then after making all the components, we tried to do the page, and it didn't achieve 100% parity, right? Because it is probabilistic. It says, oh, this what I know what badge are. This is what I know what buttons are. So I'm gonna take my idea and understanding of what a button and a checkbox is, and then I'm just gonna do my thing. And then I'm gonna use my thing to build the page that you created instead of deterministically, if I know exactly what you asked me, I'm not done. And you saw the system trying to jump ahead and get that 5% threshold adjusted. So we want to do a quick iteration to do a quick fix. So the reason that I chose this is kind of like to make it usable, so we can open the dropdown and everything like that. Let's take a quick look if we can open the dropdown here. So you open the dropdown, it tells you the reasons and everything like that. Now that I have a reason selected and something to return, they should be enabled because it has the information that I need to return. So let's prompt the system to be able to do something similar to that. And I'm gonna modify it a little bit. So let's go back here, and then what I'm gonna tell the code is, let me go here to Opus, make sure that it works. And then I'm gonna tell it, Opus fast planning, okay. I want you, I want you to make this a little bit, getting this here, so. I want you to make this a little bit functional. Oh, it's getting in the way, so let me get it here, there. I want you to make this a little bit functional, and then enable the continue button, but if the user haven't checked or answered a product with the reason of return, give an error message because they cannot continue the workflow. But if they check and selected the reason for return, then the continue button is enabled and fully working to be able to take the user to the next step. So enable the continue button from the beginning, give an error message if the user didn't select one of the products and didn't give any of the reasons, But if the product check one of the products and give the reason, then that continue button will not trigger an error. It will take the user to the next step. So kind of like now I have a static page. Now I want to make it more like a prototype and give it functionality. And then no matter what tool I use, everything is NAI. And as long as I'm connected to the system, it shouldn't have a problem to make it work. So let's do this. Now it's focusing on functionality. Okay, kind of like develop a plan, and then from that plan, it's going to implement something. Okay, it's thinking. Something we can do here, I could show you real quick. We can see the process in the back. Okay, look at that. It did this. Retry. You have an error. Retry. So, what I'm going to show you. And this is what I wanted to show you. Outputs. And then we could see the AI thinking. So, anti-gravity. We can see what the AI is doing. Okay, now it's verifying. Retry. See its connection with the AI system models and everything like that. See, our server experiencing high traffic. Now please try again in a minute. So let's try again. Okay, create a testing plan. And it's going to use the browser to do it. See, call the browser. Now it's scrolling down and testing. Continue. Okay. Okay, so that's the check right there. See, because it doesn't have, in the design system, doesn't have the repo to call the alert system, you don't see the same styling of alerts that we have. Again, see, it will comply with what you wanted in a way that it will be able to complete it, but it won't be exactly per your specifications because it's hallucinating. It's a the user wants me to do this, I will do what the user wants me, but because he doesn't have a single source of truth, these are how my alerts are, these are how my error are. It just improvise something to do it to comply with your instruction. Okay, let's see where we stand. Okay, it's reporting completion. Okay, again an error, server error, server error. Okay, so it wants to run the plan again. Let's not do that. Let's let's see if it wants to. Yeah, it wanna test it again. So oh, okay, so it wants to return. It's doing. This is really interesting. It's doing the test backwards. So it finished the return. So now it wants to be able to come back to the return screen and then see the stuff and being able to to uh, work the prototype forwards and backwards. So I just gonna stop it there real quick and then do it myself and we're good to go. So let's refresh this. We got our page. This is me using it, right? I got this. It gave me the error, and here I will prompt it to scroll me all to the alert. But as you can see here, it's not following the Figma designs because for the Figma designs we have a process of disables and then the continue information. Then let's select one. Let's give it a reason and then continue. And as you can see here, it submitted the request and then to go to this place. Okay, so this is a good stopping point to see the capabilities of the AIs and see how close are we are to be able to handle the entire process to it.